today's class. Today we are not going to learn anything new. We are going to revise what we have learned till. Are you all ready? Okay. Can you tell me what is the title of our first lesson? Very good. Why I don't wear earrings, which is written by a girl who is a social activist. She fights for women education and children's rights. She received Nobel Prize for Peace at very young age, and she protests against the Taliban who burned girls' schools and they killed the teachers who are teaching for the girls in schools. Who is she? I hope you all have remembered. Who is she? Malala Yousafzai. About her we learned in this lesson, isn't it? Why I don't wear earrings is a chapter from her book, from her memoir, and Malala. What is a memoir? Memoir is writing of incidents. It's a book written about the incidents which happened in one's own life, isn't it? If I am writing about the incidents of my own life in my own narrative style, then it is called as memoir. So what is the title of Malala's memoir? I am Malala. And the chapter which we learned as the first lesson is why I don't wear earrings. So we learned something about Malala, isn't it? She is a social activist. She supports for the women's rights and women's education, girls' education, isn't it? She protests against the Taliban. What did the Taliban do? The Taliban don't want girls to get education. So they burned so many girls' schools, isn't it? Then here we have seen about gender inequality. Women and men are not treated equally there. Both men and women are equal, isn't it? Here, the gender inequality is shown there in Pakistan, Afghanistan and all those countries. There, women are suppressed. So, we have learned about gender equality. What is gender equality? Treating both men and women, both boys and girls as equal. Girls also has the right to get education, isn't it? Why should boys have all the fun? Girls also have all those funs. Girls also have the right to get education. This is the basic idea about Malala's activities, isn't it? Then, what we have learned in this story, here Malala is telling us something about her childhood days. Do you remember? Okay, Malala is a genius girl, isn't it? She is the class topper and she participated in all the activities, all the competitions. Other students usually call her as genius is coming. Malala is a genius girl, isn't it? And she is saying that one day Malka-e-Noor is a newcomer, came to our class. And this Malka-e-Noor wants to become Pakistan's first female army chief. Who wants to become the first female army chief of Pakistan? Malka-e-Noor. And this Malka-e-Noor's mother is a teacher. So it's an unfamiliar thing to Malala, because Malala's mother and all other women there in Pakistan, they will be in the house. They will, as a housewife, they will be at home. They will do all their works at home. They will not work outside the house. Here Malka-e-Noor's mother is a teacher. Okay, so it's an unfamiliar thing to Malala. And Malala is talking about her classmates. And who is the best friend of Malala? Monipa is the best friend of Malala and she is her exam. But one day for an exam, what happened? This Malka Yenur got first mark, got first prize. This Malala, she feels very sad and then she started to cry. Her mother comforts her then. Because Malala has a mentality that I will be the first person, I will get first mark for all the exams. But unexpectedly, this newcomer, Malka Yenur, got first prize for the examination. And then Malala is saying about her stealing, her theft, isn't it? Safina is her new neighbor because Malala's family shifted their home from one street to another and there she met Safina. Safina is younger than Malala. Malala has a pink colored mobile phone, a toy phone, which her father bought to her. And Malala, who is the role model for Malala? Her father. Because her father always talked in the mobile phone. So Malala, with her toy phone, she also tries to imitate her father. She also tries to copy the way of her father. How he spoke to others through mobile phone. She also tried to imitate the same, isn't it? And one day what happened? Malala, that small pink toy, pink mobile toy is the one and only toy Malala has. But that Safina has so many jewelries, so many earrings, so many toys. One day, this Malala's mobile phone is missing. Malala's toy phone is missing. And then what happened? One day she saw it in Safina's home. And she's asking her, is this my phone? What Safina said, no, this is my phone. I bought it from the shop, from bazaar. Then Malala, what she decides? Okay, you did this to me. I will also do the same. And then Malala, what she did? She started to steal Safina's earrings, jewelries, isn't it? Then one day, Malala was caught by her mother and her mother feels so upset. Why? Because Safina is younger than Malala, isn't it? So if Safina made any mistake, Malala had to teach her, this is the right way. You should not do this, you should do this. So Malala should set a good role model to Safina because Safina is a small kid. She don't know what is right and wrong. So her mother feels so upset and now Malala feels sad because being a disrespectful person in the eyes of their parents is not good, isn't it? So Malala is pleading, she is requesting to her mother, Mama, don't tell this to my father because her father will disappoint because of Malala. Then Malala is saying something about her childhood experience that when she was a child, she stole a pile of almonds from a cart. And that cart owner, before the cart owner scolded her, Malala's mother pleads to him to forgive her child and she informs about this to Malala's father. Then what he did, what Malala's father did, his father bought a cup full of almonds and he kept it in a bowl, in a glass bowl in front of Malala. That glass bowl is a remembrance for her guiltiness, isn't it? Then, now Malala's mother take Malala to Safina's home to ask to get pardon from Safina's parents and Safina. So, she asked her to forgive. Who is asking forgiveness? Malala. But the Safina, she did not say anything. This makes Malala to feel sad. And now, Malala took a decision. What is the decision? For this silly, cheap and low-cost earrings and jewelries, I lost my character. Now, I am a thief in front of my mother, my father and my family members. jewelries, I lost my character. So hereafter, I will not wear such earrings and such stupid, cheap things. Because of these earrings, all those problems came in my life. So hereafter, I will not wear earrings. And also one more thing. Every day in her prayer, Malala asked forgiveness to God. Every day, till today, Malala is asking God to forgive her for this sin. And now Malala decides that again I have to prove myself to my father and to my mother. Because once she was a respectable person in the family. She was a genius girl. She was a talented girl. So now she is saying that again I'll make my father to be proud. I'll make my father and my mother and my family members to feel proud. Once her Urdu teacher, she said that she is about to take a class. So Malala wrote in the board, hereafter we should speak only in Urdu. So that information is informed to Malala's father and Malala's father feels very happy. So now Malala is saying that similarly, like that incident, again I will prove myself. I'll make my parents to feel proud. So these are the decisions she took. What are the decisions hereafter? I will not steal anything. I will not even take a single penny from my home. So I will not steal hereafter. I will not wear earrings. Because of this cheap earrings, I lost my character. And then every day she is pleading, she is requesting to God and she is asking forgiveness from God in her prayer. Then one day Malala's father is advising her that it's okay my dear, don't feel sad of those past incidents. Don't think about that because all the great leaders in this world did so many mistakes. At least one mistake in their life. Without doing mistakes, we cannot learn anything, isn't it? If we are doing everything in a proper way, in a correct manner, we will not learn anything new. If we do any mistake, then we will learn. We will try to correct that mistake so that we will learn a lot many new things. So without mistakes, we cannot achieve anything. We cannot learn anything. Failure is the stepping stone to success. And these are the advices given by Malala's father. This is what we have seen in our first lesson, why I don't wear earrings. I hope you all now can remember what we have seen, isn't it? Students, do you remember what we have learned in our second lesson? About a great personality we have learned. Who is that? Very good. About Mrs. Sarojini Naidu. And what is the title of our second lesson? Dear Mrs. Naidu. And this Dear Mrs. Naidu is the first novel written by Mathangi Subramanian. She is a Tamil writer and her first novel is Dear Mrs. Naidu. And in the second lesson, she deals with a small piece from that novel. Okay. Here, a little girl Sarojini, she is assigned to write a letter about whom she wants to learn more. This is an assignment given by her Annie teacher. This Annie teacher is something different from the other teachers. Because this Annie teacher is not encouraging the students to memorize everything. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. This is memorizing things, isn't it? So this Annie is not encouraging the students to memorize. More than memorizing, more than learning by hearting everything, she encourages the students to learn social values. They have to develop their skills. They have to develop their wisdom and Just memorizing the formulas, memorizing the poetic lines is not important. We have to develop our skills. We have to learn social values and moral values. That is more important. So, Sarojini is saying that any teacher is different from other teachers, and in the first week itself, this Annie teacher is giving an assignment that write letters to the person whom you want to learn more, about whom the students want to learn more. So this Sarojini picked up Mrs. Sarojini Naidu. Maybe because their first names are similar, isn't it? Sarojini, Sarojini. Maybe that is the reason she chose Sarojini Naidu, Mrs. Sarojini Naidu as the person about whom she wants to learn more. And then she is explaining why she chose her, isn't it? In the beginning, our little girl Sarojini, she is saying that at first my mother did not allow me to write a letter to you, and the reason behind that is, first, she is no more. Mrs. Sarojini Naidu is no more today, but she is writing a letter to her. It's a strange thing. And her mother did not allow Sarojini to talk to any strangers. Your parents will also do the same, isn't it? Will your parents allow you to talk to any strangers? Anybody whom you do not know? No, isn't it? Your parents will not allow you to talk to any strangers. Similarly, Sarojini's mother did not allow her to talk to any stranger. But here she is just writing a letter and she is no more. So, Sarojini said to her mother that, "Mother, this is a school assignment." At once she said the word school assignment. Her mother obviously allowed her to write. And she then write about her Annie teacher. Annie teacher, what she said, memorizing everything is like parrot. You should not be like parrots. Then this Sarojini, and here we came to know about Sarojini's family. Here Sarojini's mother is a widow and she is working as maid or servant in others' home. One of her ma'am is Vimala madam, and that Vimala madam gave a book to our little girl Sarojini, and that book is about the biography of Sarojini Naidu, and that gave an inspiration for Sarojini to write a letter to Mrs. Sarojini Naidu. And now our little girl is thinking, okay, my Miss Annie teacher said that memorizing everything is not important, it's like a parrot. So how will I study? How could I get good marks in my exams? How could I get a good job? How could I build a big house with good roof? How could I get a good job, money and everything? This shows that now our little girl Sarojini is leading a poor life. She is in poverty. Okay. I hope you all know what is poverty, isn't it? So her mother is a widow. There is nobody else for the breadwinner of the family. And her mother have to work hard. And she is working as servant in others' home. And one more thing, our Sarojini wants to lead a better and successful life. She don't want to be like her mother. She need a good job. She need a good home, money and everything. For that she need to study well, isn't it? So she is saying, my Annie teacher is saying memorizing everything is not good. Then how could I get good marks? This is her doubt. But she did not ask anything to that man. She is saying that elders will hate asking questions. If the children are asking questions to the elders, they will hate that. This is the opinion of our little girl Sarojini. And Sarojini has the habit of reading detective stories. She read so many books, and in one situation, one incident, she is saying that I will be sitting in the library and is reading all the detective stories so that I need not go and work in Vimala madam's home, or else she also has to go and work there in Vimala madam's home. And now Sarojini is explaining about the incidents which happened in Mrs. Sarojini Naidu's life. How did she came to know about all those things? Because that Vimala madam gave a book to our Sarojini, isn't it? From that book, Malala read the life history, the biography of Mrs. Sarojini Naidu. And she did not complete the book. She is saying that it's very difficult for me to understand the language. It's in English. So it's very difficult for me to understand. I have completed just the childhood life of Mrs. Naidu. And there she is saying that at the same age of Sarojini, a little girl, Mrs. Naidu has written a poetry which is more than 1,000 lines. So our Sarojini, a little girl, is saying, at my age you have written a very long poem, but I cannot do the same, and that too in English I cannot do. She feels difficulty in learning the English language. English is also a language like our mother tongue, isn't it? So our little girl Sarojini feels difficult to learn the second language, to understand the second language. But Mrs. Naidu, she was well versed in English language. And then she is also saying that Mrs. Naidu fought against the Britishers and she won. But as a little girl, if I were in your position, your place, I will not able to fight against the Britishers. The Britishers have so many spies among them. And now she is also saying another incident where this Mrs. Naidu's parents compelled her, hereafter you should not talk in Bengali, you should talk only in English. This is disliked by Mrs. Naidu, and Mrs. Naidu rushed and ran into her bedroom and she closed the door and she sat there till afternoon. She did not had her lunch. So she is strong in her decision. Her parents said that you should speak in English, not in Bengali. But she did not, she disagrees with the opinion of her parents and she closed the door and sat inside the room. She did not eat her lunch also. And now our Sarojini is about to end her letter, and at last, and she is saying some difference between herself and Mrs. Naidu. The first is, now she is alive, our little girl is alive, but Mrs. Naidu is no more. Mrs. Naidu is well versed in English. She has written a long poetry in English, but I cannot do. And Mrs. Naidu was the topper in Madras University matriculation exam, and our little girl Sarojini was the topper in class 5, in grade 5 examination. One more thing she said, Mrs. Naidu fought against the Britishers, but our little girl, she cannot fight against the Britishers. Now she is about to end her letter, her first assignment, and she is saying that Vimala madam gave a book to me, and from that book I have read about your life story, your autobiography, and so I get inspiration from that. We are similar in characters. Thus I have completed my first assignment. This is her first letter to Mrs. Naidu. She introduced herself to Mrs. Naidu, and actually Mrs. Naidu is no more, but as an assignment she is writing that she introduced herself herself to Mrs. Naidu, and she is writing that why did she choose Mrs. Naidu as the person to write a letter to. And as postscript at the end, after writing her letter, after putting the signature down at the end, after that she has written a PS. PS means postscript. It's a short form of postscript. We also use so many abbreviations, isn't it? ASAP. ASAP means ASAP means as soon as possible. TV. Switch on the TV. Television. Switch on the television. Instead of saying television, what we are saying? We will say switch on the TV. That's all. So such abbreviations we are using everyday life, isn't it? So here our little girl Sarojini used PS, postscript, and there she mentioned that both our first names are same. What is the first name of both the persons? Sarojini. And thus our second lesson also got over. Students, do you remember what we have learned about pronoun and its proper case forms? What are the two case forms of pronoun? Objective case form and subjective case form. Subjective and objective case form of pronoun. What is the subjective case? If a personal pronoun is used as a subject in a sentence, subject of a verb, then it is said to be a subjective pronoun. Subjective case of pronoun. If a personal pronoun is used as a subject of a verb, then it is said to be subjective case. Then what about this objective case? If a personal pronoun is used as an object of a verb, object in a sentence, then it is said to be objective case of pronoun. For example, I like mangoes. Here I is the personal pronoun, isn't it? What are the personal pronouns? I, he, she, it, we, they, them. These are all personal pronouns. Here the word I like mangoes. Here I is a personal pronoun and it is acting as a subject here. How? I am talking about me, isn't it? I is the subject here. Here I am talking about me. About whom we are talking. That is the subject. Subject is the center of a sentence, isn't it? So here about whom we are talking. About what we are talking. That is subject. Here we are talking about a person. Maybe he, or we can use he. We are talking about a boy, a man. So here instead of, for example, Ashwin. Instead of Ashwin, Ashwin is a noun, isn't it? Instead of this noun, we are using a pronoun, that is he. Can we write she here? Ashwin, instead of Ashwin, can we write she? No. Here we have to use a pronoun which is suitable for the noun, isn't it? Instead of Ashwin, we are writing a pronoun that is he. We cannot write she, isn't it? For she, we need a name of a girl. Here, Ashwin likes mangoes. Instead of Ashwin, we are adding a pronoun, a personal pronoun that is he. Here, this personal pronoun is acting as a subject. How? We are talking about this person. We are talking about him, Ashwin. And so it is a subject. Ashwin likes mangoes. He likes mangoes. Can you understand? For he likes mangoes. I like mango. Okay. Now, look at the second example. He killed her. He killed her. Here, this is also a personal pronoun. Her is also a personal pronoun, but it comes in the place of object of the verb. Here, this he is the subject. About him we are talking. Here, her is the object of the sentence. It comes after the verb. Subject comes before the verb. What is the verb here? Okay. So, subject comes before the verb. Object comes after the verb. So, here, her is a personal pronoun which is acting as an object in this sentence. And so, we cannot write she here. He, like he killed she. Can we write? No. These pronouns will change accordingly. These personal pronouns will change according to the sentence. For example, if I is a personal pronoun which will here as a subject we can write I, but in object it will change into me. Okay. Here he killed her. We cannot write he killed she. She is wrong. Why? Because this personal pronoun changes itself when it is there in the object of a sentence. We can write she killed him. We can write she killed him. We cannot write she killed he. She killed he. It's wrong. Okay. Here this personal pronoun change accordingly based on this sentence. If a personal pronoun is in the place of a subject, then it is said to be subjective case of pronoun. In subject before the verb. But when a personal pronoun is in the place of object, which is acting as an object in a sentence, then it is said to be objective case of pronoun. Students, I hope you all have understood what is pronoun and its proper case forms. Students, do you remember what we have learned about indefinite pronoun? What is indefinite pronoun? A pronoun which is not defining anything in particular, then it is said to be indefinite pronoun. Indefinite. We are not defining anything in particular. That is called indefinite pronoun. What is a pronoun? Pronoun is a word used in the place of a noun. That is pronoun, isn't it? So, indefinite pronoun, these pronouns are not defining anything in particular. If I am saying, Griffin, stand up and read the text. Or, Babin, go and open the door. Here, I am defining a particular person. In your class, there are 20 students are here. But I am calling only Griffin. I am calling only Babin. What am I doing here? I am mentioning a particular person. I am calling a particular person. Griffin, stand up and read. Here, I am defining him, isn't it? But in indefinite pronouns, I will not define, I will not mention anybody in particular. For example, can anyone stand up and read the text? Can anyone open the door? Can you understand? So here, I am not defining any of you in particular. In general, I am saying, for example, both, none, somebody, everybody, everyone. In general, we use all such terms, isn't it? These terms are called as indefinite pronoun. For example, if I am saying, nothing is impossible to God. Here, the word nothing is an indefinite pronoun. Why? I am not saying anything in particular. I am saying it in general. I am not defining anything in particular. And so it is indefinite pronoun. If I am saying, Griffin, open your book. This is not indefinite pronoun. Anyone stand up and read? Can anyone go and take the chalk? these are called indefinite pronoun. Look at the examples. Everyone should obey elders. Everyone should obey elders. Here, am I saying anybody in particular? Here, everybody should obey elders. Here, we are not defining anybody in particular. And so, it is an indefinite pronoun. Next, each one of you should write a letter. Each one of you should write a letter. Here, each. I am not mentioning anybody in particular. I am not defining anybody in particular. So, it is also an indefinite pronoun. Next, can anybody read the text? I am not mentioning one of you. I am not saying, I am not calling your name. I am not indicating any of you. What am I saying? Can anybody? Anybody can read. So, can anybody read the text? So, here also I am not mentioning anybody in particular, and that's why it's an indefinite pronoun. Anybody is an indefinite pronoun. Each is an indefinite pronoun. Everyone is an indefinite pronoun. Nothing is impossible to God. Here I am not mentioning anything in particular. So, if a pronoun which is not defining anything in particular, then it is said to be an indefinite pronoun. Can you understand, students? Students, I hope you're all thorough with what we have learned till. You have no doubts. Alright? So, we have learned, we have revised what we have learned till, that is the first 2 lessons and also the grammar portions. Okay? See you all in the next class, students. Until, take care and thank you.